Welcome to the Essential 99 Punctuation Rules for Court Reporters, video number 33, Numbers Part 3. I'm Ken Wick. Let's get started. This video covers numbers and ebook rules 64 to 66, which are dates, times with AM, PM, or hours and minutes, and time with o'clock. So Rule 64, use figures to express a date in a proper format, see below. Use a slash, if necessary, in an abbreviated date. Now, here's the first format. It's month, day, comma, year. So comma after the day, and there's a comma after the year if mid-sentence. This is a very common mistake not to see the comma after the year mid-sentence. So some examples is my son was born on April 5th, comma, 2003. I went on June 17, comma, 2018, comma, to see the doctor. I said very common not to see the comma here. I went on 6/17/2018 to see the doctor. You use slashes for an abbreviated date. Continuing with dates. If the date is just expressed as a month and year, there's no commas. So my daughter was married in July 2016, no comma. In June 2018, I visited the doctor, no comma, between June and the date, or the year. If you just have a date that's expressed as month and day, there's no commas. So my son was born on April 5th, or April 5, and there's no commas. On June 17, I visited the doctor, no comma. And a day most of us will not forget, 9/11. So this is the way to write this. And you're saying it's also an abbreviated date, so you see the slash, but even if you maybe had it in this format, this is how you would write it. Now, military or foreign days, United States, or I can say outside the United States, the day and month is actually reversed. Also, if you do genealogy like I do, the month and day are reversed, so the day comes first. So it's day, month, and year, and there's no commas. It's also true of military, so on 17 June 2018, I reported for duty. And there's no commas. So if you just had like day and month, once again, no commas. On 17 June, I reported for duty. In June 2018, I reported for duty. This is same as a previous example. Well, just the date format. Rule 65. Time with AM, PM, or days and hours. So use figures for number before AM or PM. Use figures for a number where time is expressed without AM, PM, or o'clock. Use a colon between the hour and the minute and ciphers, those are zeros, for the minutes for time on the hour. Use 4 digits with no colon for military time. Well, let's go through these. So basically you're using figures with AM and PM, or when someone expresses a time. And just to note that the preferred way actually to write time on the hour is without the ciphers. That means like the colon 00. So usually if you had time on the hour, you just write 7, like 7 a.m. However, LMEG and GRM allow the ciphers, which is, that'd be like 7:00 a.m. It's also acceptable, but this is This is actually the preferred way to write time on the hour. And also use lowercase am and pm. This is per LMEG, GRM, CMOS, and GPO. The BGGP says that AM, PM with the, notice it's with the abbreviation, it has the periods, or capitalized with the periods. I'm saying lowercase with the periods is what all these references have. The BGGP says it's lowercase just as we do it, or capitalized. And then just a note, Merriam-Webster's actually, because this is the actual, Merriam-Webster's is actually where we're supposed to be going to get proper spellings and abbreviations. So what it actually says, it's lowercase AM, PM with the periods, or it's capital AM, PM without the periods. Because I think most capitalization, uppercase capitalizations in Merriam-Webster's have no periods. So whatever you want to follow. I'm saying lowercase. I know all these references use lowercase with the periods. But if you want to have whatever one is correct or whatever references, I've listed them. So some examples. I want to work at 4:30 p.m. So we use the colon with the the 4 and the 30. We just put a colon between those. Express a time. PM is lowercase. And arrived home at 5. Person probably said 5:14. So we use a colon between the 5 and the 14, showing that it's an expression of time. And we know this because remember, go back, the rule says time expressed without AM, PM, or o'clock, we use figures. This is an obvious reference to time. If you were to read it like this, or if someone said this, that this number is being referring to time even though it's not stated. The ferry leaves at 7 a.m. Now, I'm saying write it this way. Technically, like I said, the preferred way is to write it this way. To me, either one is correct. Set the alarm for 6. So time on the hour. They probably, now the person didn't say AM. So this what I'm saying is that you wouldn't write, since they didn't say AM, don't write AM. But you're assuming when you write it this way with the ciphers that they were referring to time, which I think they are. Some people would say, I set the alarm for 6. They would write 6 because they're saying it's ambiguous of what the person was alluding to. So they're just going to write 6. Who knows? Maybe they set the volume for 6. Maybe they set it for 6 was a preset that you don't know about. So there's a little bit of interpretation. So some people would write the 6, and some people say no. They're saying they were. If it's obvious from the context, well, what time did you set your alarm? Oh, I set my alarm for 6. They're obviously referring to the time, and I'd write this one. Here's an example of military time. The ferry leaves at 0700 hours, or 700 hours. So write this with a 0. There's no colon. If the person says 700 hours, or 700 hours, or if they said 700 hours, because military time is always a 4-digit number. Rule 66. Time with o'clock. Spell out a number that is used before o'clock. Now, once again, there's a little bit of differences between the style guides, LMEG, CMOS, and LBH. That's the Little Brown Handbook. It says use words before o'clock. The GPO uses figures. The GRM says use words are more formal and figures for emphasis, so sort of either or. And the BGGP has a unique format. It says use figures with ciphers, so this format. This would be what someone would say if they said 5 o'clock. This is what you would write in BGGP. And the GRM actually states that this format is not correct. It says, like, do not use this format in the GRM. But this is how you do it in the BGGP. So based upon this rule, because I'm going with the basically, you know, at the very beginning, the rules punctuation are based on the Gregg's Reference Manual, and this is how it's found in LMEG and CMOS and all, you know, other style guides. So I'm saying the rule is spell it out. So the meeting starts at 5 o'clock. Once again, if you're writing this in the BGG format, this would be a 5:00 right here. You left for work at 7 o'clock in the morning. And if this is the BGGP, this would be a 7:00. Well, that's it for this video. Please subscribe. If you like the video, please hit like. And please buy the ebook. Thank you.